Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So this is a video update on my DripX position. So I'm still seeing kind of a split. I showed you guys in the last video. I think it was by what's his name? Crypto NY. Yeah, NY Crypto Investor. You put out this poll. 51% disappointed out of 105 votes. So that's clearly not the whole community, but 105 disappointed. 51% disappointed and 32 neutral. So like 80% are kind of on the fence or not happy. And this is a good reflection of crypto, 80-20. This goes with the Pareto principle. So the 80-20 rule. So it's like, yeah, 20% are going to be happy and then 80% are not. And that's kind of the way we've seen the DeFi over the last year, 2.5 years roughly. It's like, yeah, if you are one of the lucky ones, then you make bank, and then if you're not, you're on the other side. However, like I keep telling you guys, one, I've managed my expectations this time. Two, managed risk a lot better, so I'm not nearly as worried, I guess you could say, with what I've done. But I'm also giving this a little bit longer time horizon. The narrative is different this time around, and looking at it through not through the same rose-colored lenses and just digesting community narratives. So for me, the jury's still out on DripX. I told you guys that. So I'm still in the neutral category. But looking at what they've done so far, they have this here. So I wanted to take a look at that. So this is saying that they are up or 50% off of the lows. My charts show about 80%, which is great. However, it's down from the all-time high, like 99.9999%. But that, again, so I got to show you both sides, because if you just look at the chart, you're gonna be like, oh, it's down. But remember, they started with like only $300,000 or so in liquidity, and it was to kind of gauge how the community would react, and the 8-day miners dump, blah, 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 blah. Now they have strengthened the liquidity pair, like more than 5 to 7x in total liquidity across both. So they got 1.1 million. Or what is this one? This is Wrap Drip with 42K in there still. And then BNB has 93K. And I showed you guys how to look at the liquidity and stuff like that. Now, what I would like to see, again, going back both sides, positive and negatives, I'd like to see more liquidity added into the Wrap Drip token. That was the original pitch that we got from the DripX devs, that this would support Wrap Drip and therefore OG Drip. And now that they have the vault with payouts coming from alternative revenue sources, I would like to see them personally alternate between BNB injections using BNB and then Wrap Drip. That way you are indeed actually supporting the drip community like the original thesis said. So far we've only had the one injection, so can't say what's going to be happening with the future ones, but I do agree that this was a good move. I saw some other people were, saying they shouldn't have been moved or whatever. They should have all went into buybacks like was said in the white paper. However, if they just inject this all, then we have nothing else left. So even if this starts to dry up, at least you still have this capital. So I personally think this was a good idea, but I do agree that it should, or my opinion is that it should also be used to strengthen the Wrap Drip pair versus solely BNB, because a lot of us came into this, we're coming from the drip ecosystem, and now with drip being deflationary, they were buying Wrap Drip. That would help to add more buy pressure to the OG Drip token, add more utility, all these different things. So I'd love to see that happen. I'm just one person speaking that out, so we will see. But again, me personally evaluating my journey, so we're on day 22. By the time you see this, be day 23 roughly, and I'm giving this, originally I said just to 28 days, so I keep editing my thesis based on events. So I looked at this now as this reinvention of getting into the drip narrative back in the previous bull run. So in drip, you would have gotten 1% per day, and with a 10% tax to sell out, you would basically ROI, quote unquote, in 110 days if the price stayed exactly flat. Obviously, if you got in early, it went up quite substantially, but 1% per day, 10% tax, that's 110 days. So I'm going to look at this as 110 days. Now, the flip side of that is there are much better places to ROI in DeFi, and more risky, maybe less risky, just depends on your appetite to ROI in less than 110 days. But since I got into this and wanted to see how it played out, and I told you guys it was just $1,000 risk capital, I'm going to evaluate it after that. My still big benchmark is day 28. My estimated payouts have continued to go down, which is to be expected if you don't have miners to add into the equation. However, again, so I'm showing you both sides. The ability to sell due to them strengthening the liquidity pair with wrap BNB has gone up a little bit. So this was my last miner that came available, and I kept part of it. It was only around $50. So now it's up to like 71. And I do have another miner that will come mature in just a few hours, ironically. And that one is also looking better. So what I might be able to do is back to my original thesis about different opportunities in the ecosystem to not just stake and mine, but also quote unquote hit it and quit it, according to Kryptonite, being able to sell some of these miners, the DripX token that comes from the miners versus staking everything. Now, of course, the goal is to continue to get BNB during this bull run. We will probably see new BNB all-time highs. I'm going to call it on this video. We're going to see new BNB all-time highs before the halving as well. So the Bitcoin halving is in 33 days to 18 hours. And I am going to say we will hit BNB all-time highs before then. We will see how that ages. But BNB all-time highs, depending on what chart you go to, just under 700, 670 to 686 or something like that. We touched 610 previously, maybe a little higher. Let me see. Yeah, according to CoinMarketCap, we touched 628 on the 13th. So it'll be interesting. I think that could happen. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is that getting paid out in BNB. So when I created these miners, BNB was at $380. I remember that distinctly. It was just under 400. So if I put in one BNB and got a miner at 380, and then at the end of this, when I get paid out, I have one BNB and now it's worth 600. Well, that was just basically kind of a savings account or a CD for my BNB. You know, I was able to buy it early and it matured, and then I got more out of it. So even though it's still one BNB, it's worth more. So I'm in profits. So that has to come into consideration. And also the fact that the way that they engineered this is that it is better for you to get in early, and early specifically regarding the difficulty that they have built in and how it gets more expensive to make miners, but also looking at the macro narrative of how it can just get more expensive with BNB. So my thesis is still intact, and I will be waiting to see. Now, granted, if I were going to be the degen that I was in the last cycle, I would be looking at all those narratives I just told you. The fact that it's going to get more expensive, the fact that BNB is going to get more expensive, the fact that we're at the beginning of this bull run, we haven't hit the halving, there's no supply shock, there's no retail. There's all these macro narratives that would tell you to, or tell me to start creating miners. However, managing risk, I've decided to, again, play this out and I would much rather just get 2 to 3x off my $1,000 investment rather than go gamble another 5 to 10K hoping to get, 10, 20x and get rich overnight. So for me, I'm going to keep rocking this out, sharing you guys the updates. So again, I'm still neutral, not satisfied. What was the post? I forgot. Satisfied or disappointed, just neutral. And it will all depend on how this pay out and what I can actually sell around that time frame. So if I can get 50% or at least 33%, because 33% would be on track with the 1% from Drip. So if I can get somewhere around there, basically $350, we'll just call it a little above that, by the end of 30 days, I'll count that as a temporary win. Again, I know that you can make money elsewhere, other places are better, blah, 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 but that's not the reason I'm doing this. And that's not the whole setup and thesis that I created to track this. So for me, I will continue to watch and monitor it, and maybe I'll shoot Hustleman Matt a message and ask if they have plans to strengthen the wrap drip pair, because that is the original premise in their white paper. So as of right now, we are in a very shallow wrap drip pool, but they could easily strengthen that, like I said, every other week. So you got 1 million over on liquidity on the other side, and then 40K. So they could add another 40K easily to this. They could double this liquidity pair, and then that would create some arbitrage opportunities and strengthen OG drip, and would not cost anything for the devs. And it would definitely show some support for the community and give some maybe some newfound blood and excitement back into the drip token. It's not gonna, it would actually technically spike the charts temporarily, and people would sell off wrap drip due to that liquidity, or they might even make miners with it, who knows. But anyway, that's the only thing I got in this video. Give me an update, give you my thoughts, pros and cons on both sides, and my timeline for the thesis. And let's see if I'm right about BNB. All right, smash that HPL special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.